Michael, tension is always bubbling away under the surface between the two, but it seems like things have really stepped up, let's say.
Yes, well, this was certainly a record number of Chinese aircraft used in these incursions. So let's just take a quick look at them. As you say, there was about 145 sorties over 4 days. Now, those sorties included heavy bombers, sub-hunting aircraft, and up to 96 fighter jets. But tellingly, for example, in one of the flights, there were 2 heavy bombers escorted by more than 30 fighter jets. Now that's interesting because that's precisely the same expected formation that one would imagine the Chinese to use in a real attack. And in response to all of these, over these 4 days, the Taiwanese military deployed their air defense missiles. And look, once that happens, the risk for accident goes way up. And they also endlessly scrambled fighter jets. So why is China doing this? It's clearly for messaging. Now, someone in the journal Foreign Policy noted that maybe even Australia might have a hand in that, because every time Taiwan receives global support, China feels it has to respond. Now, Lithuania gave Taiwan a de facto embassy this week, but also in foreign policy, they cited the AUKUS agreement as a kind of tacit support for Taiwan and considered that a possible provocation. But most importantly, it's for China's domestic political audience. This week is what's called National Day Golden Week. It's a week-long commemoration of the birth of the People's Republic of China. And not coincidentally, these sorties began on the first day of Golden Week. And to give you a sense of what Golden Week is like, it's hyper-nationalism celebrated. A blockbuster Chinese movie was released about a famous battle from the Korean War in 1950. But in this movie, the Americans are posed as the villains. And this movie, released on the eve of Golden Week, has broken box office records in China and has so far taken in about $360 million American.
Well, that sounds like some Hollywood-style propaganda there from the Chinese, absolutely. Now, just quickly, with the change of president, I don't think America's stance in backing Taiwan ever changes all that much. But would Joe Biden be any more willing to go to war or less willing to go to war if there was an incursion into Taiwan?
Well, America is locked in. There is a piece of legislation that ties the United States very much to the defense of Taiwan and obliges any administration to come to Taiwan's defense. And it would be very difficult for Joe Biden to roll that back. And quite frankly, I don't think he'd want to. But look, this is still a very volatile neighbourhood. I mean, it's the neighbourhood that we're in and that we share with China. I mean, just 10 days ago, the Brits sent a frigate through the Straits of Taiwan, and the Chinese put naval vessels after them and sent jets into the area to warn the Brits off. Now, it used to be only America did that, but in recent years, Canada, France, the UK, and guess who? Australia has started doing that as well. Also, there's a number of weapons tests from North Korea and Moscow in this past week. The Americans landed a 5th generation super advanced F-35 fighter jet on a Japanese Navy ship, and the Japanese are buying 42 of these jets. And the Australians just joined a naval exercise with 2 ships and F-18s in the South China Sea that goes for another 2 weeks. So you get a sense of what our backyard looks like.